Welcome, guys. Welcome. This is episode 11, 12. I'm forgetting what I've actually put into the actual top there. But anyway, it's the we're in the middle of March. Well, not quite the middle of March. Last week was the middle of March. So welcome. Sorry it's a day late, or not day late. It's 2 days late, actually. I'm sort of tempted to change the date. I was trying to just do Mondays. Not for any great reason, but I'm sort of thinking that when I start streaming is usually when any specials start. So it might be better to push it back a day or two anyway, and sort of see how we go. So I'm tempted to do that. Today is a good day for me because I don't go to the beach afterwards, so I've got a bit of time. I can let it run for longer than what I would normally want a video to run. But anyway, we can sort of go from there. Hi, Sithil and Chris, and anybody else that's joined us as well. So maybe just sort of let me know if that's something that works or doesn't work for you. I'm sort of happy to keep it on Mondays. The reason I'm thinking of moving it away from Mondays is that I'm doing more and more streams for Slytherin in that time slot, because Slytherin and Matrix games have got a thing that they called Matrix Mondays, and so a lot of the Matrix games then get streamed on those days, and I get scheduled in. These are sort of like commercial streams for me, so I've got to give them priority over everything else, basically. But they I've been doing every second week at the moment, doing one of those. So I may see how it goes. Maybe we'll have a look at April and then sort of figure something out from there, I guess. Chris was saying, I wonder what happened. I thought I was getting Alzheimer's. Yeah, look, it was one of those things where, like, yesterday is no good for me because I go to the beach afterwards, and it means I have to finish after 1 hour, which I never ever can finish that early. So that for me doesn't really work all that well. So it becomes a bit of a problem. So Jemison saying, hey Daz, would prefer the Monday time slot myself, but if that doesn't work, 100% I'll be there on Wednesday. I don't mind shifting things around, if it's not confusing for people for me to switch from day to day. When I can't do the Monday, I can then switch it to the Wednesday and do something along those lines. I was going to stream yesterday, but then I thought, actually it's going to be too tight by the time I go to the beach. And I really, really do miss it when I don't go to the beach. So I prioritise that above everything else, to be honest, because it's sort of... it's my mental health, it's my physical health, all those sorts of things. I know that if I prioritise doing live streaming or playing games for the time when I would normally go to the beach, I think it would do my head in a little bit, because it's one of those really important things to get some balance, and I think I'd feel really out of balance if I didn't do that. But today is a day where I don't go to the beach, so I do actually have time to be able to then do it, so which is good. Right, so where are we up to? Hi Bubo, how you going? Michael's saying it would also be nice to with some info on your Twitch page when you're streaming on the Slytherin channel. Oh, okay. Because it's sort of maybe that's a good idea actually. I should use my own scheduling a lot more than what I do. It's because I don't start at a specific time. I'm pretty accurate with my timing on Twitch, but I don't like to lock myself in. But I really should give more information. You are right. In fact, I've got to update all my information anyway. So, from when it was hacked, it was all of that got removed. So I do need to do something there. So Jemison saying mental health is always the most important. Yeah, it's funny, it's when I don't go to the beach, the days that I don't go to the beach, I really feel it. Like I feel so lethargic, sort of by late morning, I'm sort of really missing having got the salt water on me. It's just funny. It's just weird. It's and also I think just when I meet up with a group of friends. We sort of meet up, every second day we go down for a swim basically, and it is one of those things where you do even just that face-to-face chatting is something you do miss if you don't get much of it. Hi Dave, how you going? I have found that since I've been going to I've been doing this regime for it's over 20 years, so it's been a long time, and so I do miss it if I don't do it. Anyway, let's get into it. So the Steam Spring Sale is still on at the moment, but only for... This is what I mean. Like, if I do it on Wednesdays, we sort of end up in the sweet spot a little bit with these sorts of specials, because they've started 2 days prior, and they're usually still going So we're sort of in the early mid part of these sorts of deals. This has been going now for a couple of weeks. The Steam Spring Sale, so that's actually still currently on. I think that for me, if you don't have Gladius, Gladius is actually is probably the best of the deals that I've sort of seen at 90% off. There may be others. So let me know in the chat if you've noticed any other games that you think are great to grab. Like this is a 90% off at this point in time. Yeah, it ends in 22 hours at this particular point in time, and so most of these specials actually will. So so Chris is saying, indeed, I have. Is saying I have bipolar, and anything to improve that is a must. Yeah, not saying that ChatTactic has bipolar, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I think it's one of these things where it's just like it's the balance, you know what I mean? Like it's sort of just to level yourself down. Like it's it's sort of it's funny. Like I know that if I spend the whole weekend playing games, I feel so flat at the end of it. Like even though I'm doing something that I enjoy doing, it's just weird. Anyway, so Jemison saying, I know Daz has a bad memory when it comes to NDAs. I actually have a special note on the side of my desk actually where I can just glance across now and see, yes, I've got an NDA sitting right there at the moment that I'm not allowed to talk about. Actually, I've got two. One that I've forgotten to put in there at this point in time. So I do actually have two that one that I'm not really allowed to mention just yet, but I'm allowed to test. So I'm sort of in a testing phase with a couple of games. Phase Plasma saying I caved and got Dominion 6 and Distant Worlds DLC. Zero regrets. Yeah, look, those games give you like hours and hours and hours of gameplay. Like they're worth getting simply because of the value. I think one of the best. I don't know who actually had said it, but this is years and years ago. Somebody said if you equate computer games to movie tickets, like how many hours of movie time would you get for paying for like a Dominion 6 or something like that? And so I mean, if we go and have a look, like typically this one here is $61, which I don't think is worth it now because it's an oldish game. But even at $61 Australian, that would be maybe four, maybe not even quite four, but about 4 trips to the movies. So if you sat down for 4 sessions at a movie, would you get your value back out of that one? Yes, you would, like in this case, because of the replay value being so high. But anyway, I do want to point out that Gladius is probably my pick of the specials at this point in time. Michael's saying may not be your type of game, Des, but Kingdom Come Deliverance is very cheap at the moment, worth its money for those who like games of that type. Deliverance, yeah, that's Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know if I've got that on my system. I know it did cross my desk at some point. Kingdom, actually, where is it? Yeah, there it is there. Oh, realistic and nudity. There we go. So we'll view the page, of course. So this one does rings big bells. 80% off, yeah, 80% is good as well. So there you go. 3 movies worth of game there. Was it worth three movies? I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I've actually played this one. Again, 22 hours at this point in time before you then go and get that one. Actually, that's not bad. You get the Royal Edition at 80% off, a little bit more. And then you've got all of these at 75% off. That's actually, that is not bad, actually. When was this one made? 2018, yeah. So it's not super old. It's a little bit old. Yep, so Chris is saying, well, yeah, what type of game is it? Never heard of it. Yeah, it's an open world RPG style. I can't remember if I've got it. I'll just have a look on my actual Steam. This is just going into the website. I'm not logged into that particular one. Just have a look and see if it's in my library. I did actually. Someone suggested that I do an active filter to have anything installed in here. But the problem is when I come back to do these sorts of things, it's good for just quickly going through the list of games I've currently got. But then I've got to go down to the bottom of this and then have a look and see if I actually have the game. I know I had something that I was playing a little bit. Here we go. It is there. Uninstalled though. So I last played it in 2018. So I do remember playing it. It was a pretty cool game. It wasn't too bad. So I think you start off in a village or something from memory. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Anyway, we'll close that one off. Hi Drexy, how are you going? And Eddie Ball goes, hi all. Heroes Hour is on sale, has a really big update, and Shadow Empire is at, oh okay, yeah, the 126 beta, I will get to that one. Although, to be honest, that beta is not a massive update, like it's just a bit of a bug fix update. So let's go and have a look at Heroes Hour, because that is also a game that sort of promises a lot and delivers a reasonable amount. It's not perfect. So you can see it's mostly positive, 79% and then 90%. Wow, that's a big skip for recent reviews, I've got to say. That is a big skip. I wonder what they've done recently. 58% off. So I think anything over 50% is worth talking about. So this one is well, the original game is worth 3 movies. It's now down to 1 and a bit movies. We've got to, I think we'll have to talk in terms of movies from now on when we're talking about games. Like, you know, are you going to get your 2.5 hours worth of one movie currency out of whatever you're doing? Hi Ulrich, how are you going? Kingdom Come is great. This is Radigar. And Sithel saying a kickstart of the game. Yeah, yep. Okay, so anyway, here is our. We've got a few different things back and through here, like with the Rogue Realms, etc. as well. So I think Rogue Realms is worth getting. Like that sort of does add a lot of content to the game itself. If we have a look and see what's actually happened recently, has there been any other updates? The one thing I don't like, hang on, Great War, 5th of March. So I haven't seen this actually. So it's finally happened. Heroes Hour version 2.6 is now complete and released. I know it has been almost a year since the last major update. You might even consider this the 3rd Heroes Hour anniversary release. First anniversary update was version 2, and Steam release, second anniversary was 2.4. The Rogue Realms release, and this 3rd anniversary is 2.6, and the Great War update. The Great War brings overhauls, updates, and new content to rather a lot of systems. The 3 major of these are the hero classes and rare heroes, artifacts, and battlefields. Battlefields sounds interesting. This, for me, was where the game actually failed a little bit. But looking at those changes, like if we look at the last 30 days, you know, we're looking at the March 5th in through here. So it's been out a couple of weeks. That looks like the people who are playing the game really like this update. So got unlockable heroes. Yeah, for the longest time now, Heroes Hour has been a peculiar system where each faction has 6 heroes per faction. But then each of those 6 heroes would have a copy with a different portrait and name, but the exact same skill tree. Okay, there have been a lot of changes. So replace 72 alternate heroes with unlockable heroes. Added 8 new. That's pretty cool. Rogue Realms DLC. Yeah, blah blah blah. Most hero portraits have been updated with a new style by Sleepy Mage. Sleepy Mage. That name rings a bell. I've got a funny feeling he gets involved in a lot of pixel art stuff, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. When the player first starts playing the game, they only have the main heroes available, but as the player unlocks various achievements throughout the game, they get access to more and more unlockable heroes. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's in through there. New units, as mentioned, the last update that I saw had a lot of different units. Okay, but now what's the battlefield stuff? Hero classes and stat rework. Yep, that's okay. We won't get caught into that one. Hero class and class modding. Yep, that's fine. Artifacts rework, a new artifact set. Yeah, that's okay. I'll believe that looks very, very good. This is what I'm interested in. The battlefield rework. The problem with the game was that it's sort of an auto battler, but without any real skill involved at all. Like it's sort of one of these things where, now having said that, it's heaps better than Millennia, which we are going to be talking about in this episode. So Millennia we'll get back to Millennia because we will be, like Millennia comes out this coming week. So we do need to talk about Millennia. When you're talking about games that have got, it's not a purely an auto battler, but it almost might as well be. Like you can do certain things, but you don't have enough control over what actually happens in through here. Certainly better than Millennia though. So one of the most common suggestions has been to improve the battlefields to add interesting terrain features. This has not really been possible earlier due to the simplistic pathfinding of units. Units would move towards the closest enemy and would just get pushed around by obstacles. This only worked if the obstacles were small and round. Thus obstacles worked as they did previously. The largest change code trade-wise is that unit pathing during combat has been completely reworked and now takes into account obstacles blocking the path, speed difference of various terrain. That's good. A number of friendly units already along the way. The new system should be more efficient. Yeah, that's okay. Water, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's all the slowing things down. Various units get various immunities to the above effects. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, well, I'm happy to tout the new abilities of pathfinding system, both what it allows now. Yeah, that's okay. Blah, 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 blah. Updated graphics. Okay, it's still not addressing the simplicity of the combat. I would love to see more nuance to the actual combat itself, just so that you're not just lumping a big group together and they just attack, and that's pretty much all it does at this stage. So, would I try it out again? I probably would, but it's it's still for me the combat itself was the problem, not so much the like the pathfinding and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty secondary for me, but that's just me, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't. I should actually have a look at that and see how it's actually doing things. Looks like a lot of work has gone into that one. Okay, so Sizzle's saying, not true, there is skill involved. Okay, I'll have to read more and see what he's saying there. So Chris is saying, I never really enjoyed Heroes Hour. I just played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 with the HD mod. I kind of like the auto battle aspects, says Voxter. And Sithel's saying, I will not claim that there is a lot of skill, but what you do matters. It does matter, but when you position it, like you really are just going in and just popping them into, like you're putting certain things to go closer to whatever the enemy areas are. You're not doing a hell of a lot after that, to be honest. You do have spells you can bring in to blast things up a little bit, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting when Songs of Silence comes out. This will be similar to a large degree, and it'll be interesting to see if which of these two games actually does the better job of that sort of mechanic, where you do actually have a cooldown for spells. You can actually redirect forces to a degree. They've got a similar sort of mechanic, but I feel like Songs of Silence is going to have a little bit more strategy in the way it's actually done. Anyway, so Fox is saying it makes a quick way to play. It does, but I still would prefer to have some sort of nuance to it. Anyway, we'll see. But for me, it's one of those things that I was always thought that's the one area of the game that is weak, and everything else is actually very, very well done. Even the way that the actual auto maps, the maps are generated, is brilliant. The way that he's done it in this particular game, that side of things is. I have seen it with other games since this one, but it is really, really good. Anyway, so that's Heroes Hour. Yeah, it's worth playing, and by the looks of the ratings, it actually okay. There's no that's okay. Anyway, we'll just leave it through there. But that does look good. At, basically 50% off. Let's have a look at some of the others. I mean, Dominions is an auto battler, kind of, right? Yeah, it is. Dominions, though, is the other extreme of auto battler, where the scripting is so detailed, it actually is. It can chew up a lot of time, just getting your troops ready for the combat. So I think that I would love a game with the middle ground there somewhere. Michael's saying Crown Wars, The Black Prince looks interesting to me. Still 2 months until release, though. I did see that one, actually. I don't know if I'm on the list for that one. That's not coming up. What is it? It's Crown Wars. The Black Prince. Yeah, it's not on special at this stage. But yeah, this one does look good, actually. Anyway, it's a little way off, so let's not get caught up with that one. Just try to keep what's happening in the current week coming up. Yes, I was saying also, Heroes is not a true auto. It's not, but it might as well be. Basically, the way that it sort of works. So I was saying, Heroes is a lot about setup too, but it's less deep. Yeah, I mean, it's just positioning your forces. I mean, I guess one aspect I should preface that and say the combination, like when you've got like a large army, you do need to figure out who's going to go into the actual fights. But it's sort of one of these things where I just wish that there was more impact with certain troops being able to then fight against other troops. That would sort of be something I would like to have seen in that. Anyway, let's continue on. We're going to look at Millennia, because that's the one that is coming out I know what millennials is. Hang on. What's that? Millennials. Is this a jokey one? Create your own college freshman. Experience the hardships of college in this amusing and engaging life sim game. Study hard and party even harder. Join a fraternity to meet new interesting individuals. It is entirely up to... Okay, so it is actually serious. It's a serious game by the looks. I thought it was going to be like a bit of a jokey type one, but why is it called Millennials? Millennials have all left uni by now. Pretty much. I mean, millennials are now the main are sort of now heading into the managerial class. So it's the Gen Zers that this would be more applicable to. The Gen Z would be the ones I would assume that would be much more about this one. So Michael's saying, by the way, you made me buy Mortal Glory 2 and I have a lot of fun with it. It's a good little game, isn't it? It's a fun little game. So anyway, that's... I've got no idea about this game. I thought it was going to be a bit of a joke, but it's like with safe spaces or something like that. It's funny. I saw a really interesting discussion about how damaging is safe spaces it is to people who end up relying on them. People have a lot more stress in their lives because of it, which is sad, really. Like it's one of those things. I'm guessing from my generation. I don't care if my phone is off. I don't care if it runs out of battery. Even though people are trying to contact me, I just don't care because I grew up where you didn't have that same sort of level of contact. But now everyone's checking their phones all the time, and I think for the generation like the millennials and the Gen Zers who grew up, unfortunately, with that degree of contact with everyone, and they rely on it, it must be extremely stressful. Sithel's saying it was started to be developed when millennials are still little babies. Anyway, let's leave that one. We go back to Millennia, which is where we were heading off before. So anyway, Millennia is coming out this week. So release date for me it's the 27th, but 26th is essentially for the rest of you guys. So this is coming out now. I have, when I've been live streaming this, because I've been streaming it a fair bit, I will do a video on it, I think. It's been touted as the Civ killer. Let's have a look and see. I should be able to play the videos and watch it.
History's pretty big. And history can go in a lot of different directions.
It's all about this fight for history and who can control it.
The ability for us to kind of push boundaries outside of what actually happened.
In a way that hasn't been done in other 4X games.
What if we have alien visitors?
How is that going to affect history?
The ability to take it off the rails.
What if steam power was viable for real technologies?
Balloons and zeppelins and steampunk.
What if we have to fight off this evil rogue AI?
I think a history buff could get excited about the alternate takes on history.
One of the main things that sets Millennia off are the variant ages, which changes how the timeline goes every time you play.
You could go into a crisis age, like the Age of Blood, and immediately see impact all across the map.
We are showing so much at any given time in a much stronger way than other games tend to do.
We also have our deep economic model with the goods.
You can cut that tree down and make logs, but you could also take that tree and turn it into paper.
Which can be used to make books and religious texts.
It always feels like there's something new going on in Millennia.
It's been really rewarding to see players get into ages for the first time.
When we hear somebody talking about their experience in the game.
I got into the Age of Revolutions, and all these rebels appeared out of nowhere.
And that's exactly what we're trying to build. We bring in experience and knowledge of how to create great games.
The only way that we know how to build games is to build games that we love to play.
Each game will be unique.
It makes replays a lot of fun.
It's not infinitely replayable, but I did the math, and it's a really high number.
Players are defining the ages. They're shaping the course of history. That's what Millennia is.
So we saw there, like the whole premise, where they're really sort of putting their marketing behind it is that you've got choice over what the different ages that you sort of then generate as you start to play through the game. Now I find that you tend to still be pushed more down into the traditional sort of age progression. It's actually, you've got to do something really quite unusual to be able to break out into these other ages. So you've got to really target them in advance, which is, and it's whoever the first one is going into those ages as well is the one who dictates where you end up. So it's quite, that aspect is interesting. But for me, it's not the best aspect of the game. It does give you a lot of differences that where things are played back to you, but it doesn't, like, there's actually another mechanic in the game which wasn't highlighted. There was something around here which was interesting.
How the time...
That one there, I'd love to see this in...
how...
God, it's so fast. But this is just going through, you know, the changes are essentially, I'm guessing, is it just graphic changes? No, it's not actually. They've got like different adaptations as they sort of move through the different eras, I guess. But that's it's fairly interesting. I'll see if the other one has got it.
As the world is shrouded in
It's only 47 seconds.
The next chapter is yet to unfold. Are we to witness the age of kings? Will we be haunted by plague? Or shall we soar towards utopia? The narrative is yours to claim.
Yeah, I might. They're focusing purely on the ages. What I might do is I might actually fire the game up and show you what I think is the best bits about this game. And actually, I keep on thinking: is it the Civ killer that everyone's looking for? Been looking for a good decade or so? Is it the game that's going to basically challenge Civ in this space? And I actually think it is, even though I don't love the game, and it's not my type of game usually, but it's. And I think the main reason for that is because Paradox is the publisher, and they will be able to develop this game over the course of years, so like with DLC, etc. And I think that will push it forward a long, long way. It's innovative enough in certain areas that already give it like a really good baseline. So I'll just get it started up. It'll take a little bit of time to load it in there. It's just saying I do not think they're pushing DLC so much as on standalone studios. I hope not overly, but I can see where things could actually really be like improved with the game, and I think that DLCs do have a role with this game. So where are we? So we've got Civ by people who need a safe space. Says Matthew. Mink Back is saying slow-mo. And Cecil's saying, I can't do it on those videos, unfortunately. That's just part of Steam. Or you get to the situation where everyone is begging for more Age of Wonders DLCs. Yeah, well, it happened with Planetfall. Planetfall needed one more, really, but I'm glad where the other one actually is. We've got a cursor. That's a good start, I think. We'll just wait for it to load in. It does take a bit of time to load in. Yeah, Civ needed somewhat randomized tech trees or Civ-specific techs. Yeah, so actually, yeah, there we go. Eddie Ballgame saying Shadow Empire was a Civ killer for me. Yeah, it's not quite the same. This is very close. If I just go and continue a game that I've been playing, I've been live streaming this game. So this is mid game now. When am I allowed to show the actual game? I'm not allowed to show the full game, until the 24th of March for me, so 23rd. I don't know if I will. I think that I will do one. Well, I'll do one video for YouTube about the fact that that I think it is a bit of a Civ killer because of a couple of the innovations with it, which are interesting, and I find that these ultimately, if they're fleshed out a bit more, could be very, very interesting the way it sort of does them work. So Redigar saying I've been trying to like Gal Civ, it just isn't working for me. It'd be interesting. I always like to actually there we go. So original intent saying Gal Civ 4 has been the Civ killer for me. Super solid game. Yeah, it's sort of like it. I mean, that's similar, but again set in space. But I mean, for these sorts of era type games, like there's been a fair few of them. Like Old World, I think is a better game than Civ personally, but the company isn't big enough. Whereas I think Paradox is big enough to carry it off. The thing that I find really, really cool about the game is that as you go to different eras, and if we just go back into research, so when we look at the actual research that we've got, Oh, here we go. We're trying to get to the Age of Renaissance. Somebody else is there before us. Unfortunately, I can't show all the other ages that were there before us. So there's already somebody in the Age of Renaissance. So we're still sort of moving our way up towards that at this point in time. There's usually a whole lot of different eras that then come up through here. You need to sort of get like the stock standard areas of the different age that you're doing. So we've gone, in this particular run through, I've just been going through the stock standard ages, to be honest. So these aren't, this is very much like a Civ type playthrough. But it's the eras are interesting, but they do change things, not just technologically, but also situational as well, like on the actual game itself, on the map. So there's some really intricate and interesting combinations with the actual eras as they come through. Actually, I might even have, if I go back and load in one of my older games, that's 148. Let's have a look at this one here. Let's go back to some of these old auto saves and see if I can see it before anyone else has got there just yet. Sorry, I'll read the comments in just a minute. Yeah, next stage. Oh, hang on. Research. I think it's already. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So this is sort of like where if you have certain things and if you've pushed certain things along a certain way, you then can open up a different era, and we don't get to see the actual tech in these different eras. But you can see there, I've only got one dock. If I had 5 docks and got one extra in through here, one of these, I'd then be able to push for the Age of Discovery, and then the whole world then goes into the Age of Discovery. At the moment, though, in the current game, somebody else made it into the Age of Renaissance, and essentially I'm still sort of moving my way towards that one. You've got the Age of Intolerance. This is a crisis charges. The intolerance, you need to have crisis, which is another simple but interesting aspect of the game. And then this one here is the Age of Conquest, 150% greater power score than any others. And so in this case, we're actually doing fairly poorly with our power. And this was another thing I found interesting when I was playing this game. When I first started playing it, we didn't need to be aggressive the way that we were sort of structured, the way that we did everything. So if I just go back out again, so you can see there that Greece is already making its way through towards the Age of Renaissance. So it's already got a head start. So if you like it would be too hard for us to catch up with that particular one. Let's see if I can load in some of the even earlier turns. Turn 38. Just see, this is early game. Yeah, actually Empire Earth had unrealised potential. There's a fair few games like that again were touted as Civ killers, but just didn't have a big enough company behind them to be able to carry it off. So actually this is a different game altogether. But essentially the combination of what resources you have in your city, these really do dictate the direction that you then go and take up. And so what actually happens is as you get to the different ages, so we've got Blood Age. We need to get to 6. Actually, just have a quick look and see. Have a research. The Age of Blood. So units from other nations slain. You need to slay 6 of them, and then you end up with in an Age of Blood, which then triggers a crisis. So in this particular game, I haven't really gone far enough with that particular one for that to happen. Discovering landmarks is a fairly early, easy one to get, but it's again, I haven't discovered any of those. Again, I've noticed that different people online are playing very, very different game styles as well. Like some people swear that you absolutely must get scouts initially and then and work that way through the game. I don't subscribe to that, but it's interesting that people are looking at that and thinking that's the meta approach for the game. But I think that we'll find, and that's a good sign of a game when you actually have people who really think that one strategy is the best one and somebody else thinks a different one is the best one. It just means that it means that the game has got different strategic choices that people can make, which I do really appreciate in these sort of games. So, but this is often I find that the approach you take will be dictated by where you start and what sort of resources you have close by. So in this case, I don't have a real lot of good starting resources. If I go back in and load another game as an example, where did we get up to? Yeah, this is playing as Egypt was where we got to. I'll just open this one. This is sort of like still early game. Connie's saying I bought Civ 6 during winter sale. What a disappointment. Yeah, so Civ 6 has some good bits to it, the music, etc. In this case, this is one that's still relatively... This is one that I was interested in because I had like a lot of resources really close to my city. I had 3 around the actual city itself, and then another 2 that were back over and through here as well. Now, what this then meant was, and in fact, and more even down this other side, it meant that my expansion, I was going to be able to use economy rather than military in this sort of instance. And so the approach in this case was not to expand, but to build up. So you could build a tall game because of what was around the city. And so I liked this a lot. When I saw that you've got these choices to make depending on how you start, it's also really, really interesting. If we had have been closer to the water and just a little bit closer, then maybe we would have been building docks and having all sorts of other little towns all over the place. But in this case, like the others have got, they've got multiple towns already. There's still an independent, but it's interesting. Like everyone else has expanded, and I haven't in this particular game. So I was just playing tall for an awfully long period of time, which is quite interesting. And again, you've got the research. You can see there that Age of Plague, Age of Monuments, Age of Kings, and so these all do different sorts of things. And so in this case, if the you need to have a lot of plague events to then trigger the Age of Plague, but these then dictate what actually happens on the map and also in the tech that you end up getting. So the ages are interesting. But I find that the actual the strategic choice at the start of the game is equally as interesting. But beyond all of this is when you actually hit certain eras, you end up getting these are called national focuses, I think that's what they're called. And so this is where you end up essentially being able to then push into a different way of playing. And I would need to play it to show... Actually, I wonder if I've got any that are... No, I don't have any save games that are close to it. But this is... As you hit different milestones in the different ages, you then get to choose an actual focus, and these really do push your... Like the actual factions are very, very vanilla, except when you start to put these on top of them, and then they become very, very particular. So in this case, we did go with God King Dynasty because this one really does reward playing tall, and so it sort of works. When I'm later in the game, like once I got to tier 4... If I just go back and load that one in, I'm not sure exactly where it would have been. I'll just go into one of these sorts of ones and just see if it's close to getting where we would be wanting to go and get. And yeah, we're still God King. Yeah, we're still researching different things. That's still not it. Just go and load the game. That was 60 odd, wasn't it? 100, 110. Yeah, so these are now sort of getting close to where we are. But once you start putting those specialties in, yeah. So this is already engineer. Yeah, I'll just grab that for now. That doesn't really matter much. It's nicely. The game is very nicely done. This is another one that you've then got. I wish I could show it, but this is actually one where I've gone in and selected machinery, and we selected machinery because we had mountains in through here that we could start to exploit for iron. So by going with machinery, it gives us a focus for our civilization we wouldn't actually have. But there's a whole lot of different focuses. Like for example, if we go back to the other one that was actually there previously, go back to, actually how far are we into that one? 49 as France. Let's have a look and see what we did with this one. Because they really changed the flavour of the faction you're playing with. In this case, we went with warriors, which allows you then to sort of get Spartans, and so you start to take a more aggressive military. And so if you can't build up economically, which is I killed in the other game, you would then take this one to start to sort of then build up more aggressively. So it really changes the focus of who you're playing as when you actually get this one. And you notice that both the other two were both under engineering. In this case, I've got warfare in through this other side. This one here is the coming into the Age of Kings. Once this one would be gone through, that would then end up giving us, I think, Age 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 gives us the next one as well. So when we hit one of these, we then get to choose another focus. And so we start to sort of then just get this combination. And they in combination with the Age really make the game, for me, the Civ killer that everyone's talking about. Now let's talk about the worst thing about the game. The absolute worst thing is the actual combat system. It is terrible. It is one of the worst combat systems I've seen in any game. It is just absolutely shockingly bad, to the point where I'm now no longer interested in playing it, even though I think a lot of other people would be interested. If I just go and open up the most recent of them. I don't know if I've got any combat that I can actually do close in this one here. But this is, like, you know, I guess I'm more critical about these sorts of things than other people actually are. I don't know if we're at war. I can't remember now if we're at war or not. It's so simple the way it does actually work. No, we're not at war. So if I go and just declare war. Oh, hang on. It's oh, we must be at war. Hostile. I'll declare war. There it is there. So it's very simple to sort of then go and do this one. So that's India there. If I go and send in this particular group, for example, so I've got like a group that's got a special unit, so a Naginata unit, which we got from something else. I forget how we got that one there. But it's nice, like each faction you play doesn't have a preset style like it does in Civ. This one you do build it as you go based on what happens on the actual map. This is probably our most complete. Let's go and actually do the damage in here. So the combat system, all I did was just right click with this particular group against this particular group in through here. If I then go and have a look at the actual the results, this is why did that not show? There we go. So this is the combat. We don't do anything. It's just all auto battler, but really crappy auto battler. They sort of randomly pick from the different lines and things. Not only does it look really, really bad, it actually, the whole mechanics are bad. Like, it's not just the visuals. As certain things happen, some of them will try to sort of run, and like this one should be getting close to running. The blue line is morale. So there's nothing I can't set anything up other than the composition. There we go. Another one is now running. It's militia. That one's now run. Okay. So, and then we've just got the scouts, which should also then run. So the main defenders actually, and that's it. And this is a complex battle. This is not. This is not a simple battle. This is actually one that's got a bit more intricacy about what's actually happening in it, and it's just absolute shit. It's terrible. So we end that one through there, and so that was the actual battle that actually occurred through there. So. I can't do anything else in that one. So we've now got this one under siege. There's some of the mechanics aren't terrible, like the actual siege mechanics and so on and so forth, but the actual combat, I don't know what they were thinking. But they were so innovative in so many different ways, and they end up doing that. And I just can't believe it. You know, like it's sort of one of these things where it just, I don't know, it's just weird. It's so weird that they would actually go that way. I don't understand it. So we've got other armies that are now sort of coming back down, stronger armies than that one, for example. But that's that just is a bit of an example of it. That's for me is the game is a good game except for that bit of it. And yeah, Chris is saying the combat right there has put me off so much. It's terrible combat, but the actual game itself is good. And so it's one of these games where I do think it, you know, could challenge to be a Civ killer, just based on what it does do. Like what it does do is very innovative, except for combat. The whole approach of the game is interesting as well. The replayability of the game is actually very, very high, again, except for combat. Combat is just a real afterthought. I just don't understand why they would have gone there. It's very, very strange. Sorry I've missed so many of the comments here, guys. I might just skip past a lot of them. If you do need to grab my attention, just do an at ChatTactic. Sorry, I'm scrolling through the chat as well as scrolling the game. So anyway, I won't keep on scrolling. But if I've missed something that you did want to really sort of actually we've got Wolf Tooth saying cartoon graphics killed Civ 6. Well, is that enough to kill this game? Is that enough of a problem with what we actually have through there? You know, like it's. Again, this is actually okay with the being able to sort of see, like when you sort of zoom out, that's as far as you can zoom in the game. So it doesn't really go back out to an actual cloth map style that Stardock was so good at. You know, like when you look at a Stardock game, the cloth map approach, and I think that they were the ones that really innovated, like the most innovative with that, with Elemental. Like that was the first time I saw the cloth map introduced in a really, really meaningful way. But like we're talking about Gal Civ, I might even open that one up because there's been big changes in Gal Civ as well. We can sort of look at the difference. Now, it was mentioned that Gal Civ, someone mentioned that was their Civ killer. It's different genre, I guess, of game. Doesn't really go through eras either. So I'm just thinking in terms of the era type games, that are historical era type games. This one I do think, just based on it being from Paradox, based on the innovation for a lot of the game, it's too late for them to change the combat. The combat is abysmal, but that's the only real negative for me. So Aidan is saying, I have to wonder if combat is like that because how combat changes through the ages. I don't think so. I'm always thinking that there's so much they could have done with this. There's so much they could do with it, you know. Like it's just in simple ways. And actually, let's quit out of this one because I do want to talk about Gal Civ. I'll just exit out to the desktop. Just go yes. It's a fun game though. Like it's a good game. Like and I do think it's going to do very, very well. If we go and play Gal Civ and look at the difference in some of the innovations that Galactic Civilizations has got. Now I know that there was a comment, I forget who it was, sorry, who had mentioned that it was that Gal Civ was not what they liked. They couldn't get into it. I'm really looking forward to the next big DLC, to be honest, that's coming, because this game for me every month. It dramatically gets better. It doesn't just get better in degrees. Like we look at a game, for example, like Shadow Empire, that gets better every month, but just a little bit at a time. Like it's a great game, but it just gets better a little bit at a time. Gal Civ goes leaps and bounds ahead every month, basically, with what they do. And next month is they've got another DLC coming, and I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. But that is going to solve, like Gal Civ had the same problems. Did I click on play? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Sorry. But Gal Civ had very, very similar problems to that, like a year ago, where the combat was better than that, but it wasn't much better than that. It did have more nuance. Actually, no, it was a lot better than that, even back then. But the combat in Gal Civ is improving all the time. And so it is one of those things where it's Gal Civ, and after the next big DLC drop, which is the Warlords DLC, that's going to be really, really fleshed out, I think. I'm so looking forward to that one. If I just go and continue, by the way, I should point out, I'm going to be continuing on the live stream that I started 3 days ago. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, and probably be a bit earlier than this time, I think. So I'll probably play it at a different time slot. I was streaming that one for USA times. I think I'll go back to European times for tomorrow. Otherwise, and I might then just follow it on the next day as well. I don't know which time slot I'll end up doing, but I'm not sure what's better for everyone. I get different reports from YouTube telling me the best times for me to actually do my video content. European time seems to be the best one for me, European evening. Anyway, let's just go back across and we'll just go continue. So this is where we currently are. So we're going to be sort of finishing, or we're going to be continuing this one on in the next session. But and the cloth map in this one isn't as good as what Elemental was awesome for what it was. And so the way that they sort of work it, they've got very, very good zoom. Like, you know, you can go right into different aspects. But then when you do come back out, actually it simplifies the different bits and pieces as you're sort of looking at the different ships. You do get to sort of see a lot of different sorts of things in this more distant approach with the way things actually sort of do work. It ultimately, and you can sort of see like the different sort of ship symbols, they then become actual ships over time. So you eventually sort of get used to the actual what the symbols actually are. But they do a much cleaner job with their these sort of cloth map sort of style approach. Elemental, as I say, was probably the best of them. Actually, another game that does it reasonably well now is Age of Wonders. That does cloth map. Actually, let's have a look at that. That's probably even a better, like that's probably more applicable to what we're talking about with Millennia. It's the same publisher as well. So let's just go to Age of Wonders 4. Open up that as well. There's a game that's just getting better and better as well. So many great games at the moment. So many great strategy games. It's just awesome. God, we live in an awesome era for gaming anyway. It's also saying it's because we Europeans like strategy games. Yeah, and I think like my usual streaming time on Twitch is is for Europe. Is usually that sort of like European times that works best for me usually. The USA times I'm at the beach or doing something else at that stage usually. But I think I'll certainly put a notice of like an advance notice, maybe a few hours out, or later on today when I sort of figure out what sort of timing I'm looking to. And so I'm sort of undecided. I'm 50-50 as to what time to start that stream tomorrow, but I will be streaming at some point tomorrow. It does always, the first load in for this does take a long time. There's a lot of content to load in. Steve Bartlett saying, "Oh wow, finally made it to a live stream. I'm really enjoying your Galactic Civilizations 4 content and loving the game. It's a great game. It's sort of, I think I like the approach of doing it the way that I've been doing it at the moment, doing one video to introduce how we're going to play it and go through the setups and stuff like that and the changes that have come into the game, and then do live streams where I can actually at least then get into and play for extended periods, which is better than just doing video by video by video. I think it works better. So so tomorrow hopefully we'll sort of get into a bit more aggression, although we're sort of playing fairly like a bit of economy in that particular playthrough, which is interesting. Original Tent saying, "Stick around for Marble Madness, Steve." Oh yes, I didn't mention actually while we're waiting for this. The key today is Solemn Infernum. So I've snaffled a key for Solemn Infernum to give away today. So that's definitely worth being in the marble run today, because that's going to be an awesome. I should have started off by saying that, because Solemn Infernum also just had another update yesterday, I think. So that's a great game. God, there's so many great games around. But I will talk about Solemn Infernum. I did mean to start off that way, actually, but there's a lot to talk about today. We haven't even got to the RimWorld announcement yet, which is also very, very exciting. So here we go. Finally sort of get into it. Okay, the Triumph screen doesn't last all that long. Come on. Well, it does today. Yeah, no, Solemn Infernum. I will also point out I'll be recording a multiplayer game with battle mode, and like we've been talking about doing a few different multiplayer games together and with other YouTubers as well, and also with Lucid Tactics and also with Tortuga Power. So the four of us will be playing a Solemn Infernum game. Just got some technical problems with the game on Lucid's system, but as soon as that's sorted, we'll get a a few videos out, I think, where we're playing Solemn Infernum, because that shines as an actual board game style game. Connie's saying, did you play Starfleet 2 Krellin Command back in the days? There's a remaster out, looks interesting. No, I didn't actually. No, I never played that. I don't think I did anyway. Okay, so Bilko's then saying, been playing Interstellar Space Genesis, got it on sale, €10 bargain, awesome Space 4X. It really is. That's the closest to Master of Orion 2 of any game. Now, if I go continue, I think I've already finished off the game. Let's go yes. I was live streaming this one. Here, this is I think the final battle. I wanted to show the cloth map approach that this one has got, and so a lot of these sort of Civ type games I think would learn a lot from. And this is almost a rip off of Elementals, to be honest. As we come back out, we then get the mud map look, which looks beautiful. Like, it looks just so stunning to actually have this. It looks like it's been just like a hand-drawn map, and then it's only when we start to sort of get in a bit closer that we then start to see the more detail coming into the actual game itself. So it's that there is, I think, a beautiful way of showing it. But as I say, Elemental did this, 15 years ago, whenever Elementals came out. So, and Elementals looked as good as this, basically, or from what I remember. Maybe it's rose-coloured glasses. I remember being very impressed with it at the time. But this is, Age of Wonders does a really good job of this as well. So, and Stardock is the maker of Elemental and also Gal Civ. But yeah, the cloth map approach is great. And if we just go and press page down, this is the cloth map approach then for the underground. And again, when you sort of zoom in on different things, you can then sort of start to pick out the actual territory. But this is actually interesting because you do get to see all the different resources, the different ways of some of the way that the city has been structured. So you can sort of see things very, very clearly in the cloth map style, rather than having to sort of then delve in and just try to pick out exactly what's what. So it's a nice way of actually presenting information. And at the moment, Millennia doesn't do a good job of that either. So that's where these sorts of games actually, for me, actually really do shine. Anyway, we'll exit out of that one. So, and then we'll talk about Solemn Infernum. So I haven't tried it since the actual update, which was, as I say, just yesterday they brought out the update for it. And again, this is a stunningly good game. Like, just what they've done here, it's so impressive, I've got to say, to take the game from, from about 15 years ago, that was built in basically the precursor to Flash, and but it's done extremely well, and then to be as faithful as they have been with the game, but to really have a look at all the mechanics. I'll just let it play because it's just I love what they've done with this.
Vanquished into a dim abyssal gulf. We forsaken, forever condemned to taste burdened air and churning ash, racked for eternity with obdurate pride and steadfast hate. We, who chose never to yield or submit, strived to make a heaven of hell. We raised our great capital, Pandemonium, from which his dark majesty ruled, till vanished he did from his infernal throne. From our strongholds deep we now rage against one another, each fixing our plans upon the throne. Here, at last, I shall be free. To reign is worth ambition, though in this place of darkness made visible, better to rule in hell than serve in heaven.
Yeah, I love that. I just love the intro. It's just such a good intro. I don't know if you could hear it clearly, but it's fantastic. So that's Solemn Infernum. But yeah, that will be the giveaway for today. And the actual game itself is very, very solid. It's funny because I've gone back to the original, and like, you know, if you are sort of playing it, I'll just continue. Actually, I don't know if I finished this game. Actually, no, I was just, don't know why I was 46 turns in. Yes, getting towards the end, but it's very, very much like a board game. It's very, very pure, and they did certainly sort of change some things with the actual game itself, but it's really, really well done. Like, you know, the actual game itself, the game as well. The AI, I was a bit scathing about how poorly the AI played. But they've been doing a lot of work, and so every single patch they bring out now fixes an aspect of the AI and makes it much, much more playable. So I've got a lot of. I think this game is going to be an awesomely good game. Ultimately, it's for me, it's already right up there as game of the year. Like, it's just so damn good. Anyway, that's going to be the giveaway for today. So if you don't have it, you definitely want to be winning that prize. You want to be getting your marbles as polished as you possibly can. And I mean for the marble run, not your own marbles. But anyway, let's just keep on going. So that's going to be where we go. Yeah, flesh marbles. Yes, Connie. So I didn't want to be that crude, but yes. I'll get banned from YouTube with that sort of inference. So no, when we do the marble run, this will be the game, and it's as I say, they've done it incredibly well. So much better than the original, which is sort of funny to say it because the original was an absolute classic. Even when it first came out, it was considered a classic at that point. I do actually have the original installed on my computer at the moment, actually. So when you look at the difference between the two, it's down in here. There's Solemn Inferno windowed. Hopefully it won't crash anything. Yeah, here we go. This is it. Okay, and there were so many different things where you had. I tried to make it an Astaroth as an example. I'll just go and select it, and you do have like Asmodeus. Actually, who else did we have in there? A fair few of these are missing from the group. I'll just select a few of them, and get Beelzebub. Select. And Moloch, there we go, select. So anyway, if we just go and start the game, it does say, you know, going to take some time while Inferno was created. But it's got similar sorts of map types and things as what you sort of had in through that other side. But that's the map, basically. That's where this is the difference between what we had and what we now actually have. So it still was very functional. It worked very well as a board game. Anyway, that's the original Solemn Infernum. Don't know if we can get back out of here. Quit the game. This was built in the precursor to Flash, and he did a great job, really pushing that technology as far as he possibly could. Bilko saying, "Polishing my marbles as you speak." There we are. So Solemn Infernum, that will be the giveaway for today. So yeah, it's, as I say, an incredibly good game. Anyway, I think I've done enough with Millennia. I think that it will be, a lot of people will really enjoy playing it. It's one of these things where if you're focusing on the combat side, and I do like that combat tactical sort of side of games, then I'm disappointed in the game. But for the majority of people who like playing Civ-type games, that's not important. It's more the strategic choice you have around your turns being played and the way that works, and the game is excellent with that. So I think Millennia is one of these games that is going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people who like playing Civ-type games, and that's why I think ultimately it will be considered a bit of a Civ killer. I won't say it is the Civ killer, because I think Civ will always have a role to play, but it certainly brings a lot of innovation, and the actual team behind the game have been involved in a lot of games through the years, through the decades really, so they've got a lot of pedigree. I don't know why they did the combat that way. It's unbelievable for me, really unbelievable. Okay, so Bilko's saying, yeah, got that on sale. Is that on sale at the moment? Let's have a look and see. So that's Millennia. Let's have a look at Interstellar. Interstellar. No, it's not going to do it. Oh, Insta. Stellar Space Genesis. $14. Okay, that must be on special at the moment. Yeah, 67% off. Okay, here's another one. Like you've only got 21 hours left to grab this one. And again, if you're talking about it in terms of movies, it's gone from a 3-movie game down to a 1-movie game. So if you're going to get a lot more gameplay out of this than 1 movie's worth of time and enjoyment. So unless you'll go and watch Dune, of course, Dune is exceptional. That's the exception to this rule of thumb that we have of using movies as the gaming economy. But anyway, it is actually it is one of these sorts of things where where that's actually it's a very, very good deal, I've got to say. What is the DLC? DLC is also 50% off as well. And that would be worth grabbing as well, I think, as well for the game, although you don't strictly have to. But Interstellar Space Genesis, as I say, the closest thing to Master of Orion that you can find. Very positive reviews. 82% is great for one of these types of games. Like if we have a look, for example, at Galciv. Galciv, I don't think actually even rates that high. Galactic Civilizations 4. So mostly positive, 72, very positive, 83. So in recent times, Galciv has now taken over from who Interstellar Space Genesis was. But prior to that, it was sort of languishing around the 72. And Distant Worlds also. I don't know why Distant Worlds rates so poorly. It's for me, it's up there with the others as well. Mixed. So it's actually now gone back to mixed. It's under 70%. 50% there. That just doesn't make sense. It's such a good game. What about Stellaris? See, that looks like it's on special too. 70% off. There we go. That's gone to a movie and a bit's worth of content. So that's actually worth grabbing as well. And so this has gone from very positive, 88%, down to mixed, 60%. So it's dwindled off, which is interesting as well. But a lot of reviews. I'm guessing a lot of early reviews. If you have a look and see. Show the graph over the course of its history. Now there was a big boost there. Yeah, it was sort of like it was middling along. It sort of became mediocre at that point. Then it got another big injection and it's become mediocre again in recent times. So just over the last, in fact, when you look at the last 30 days, it really is pretty poor except for the recent few days. Interesting. Anyway, that is Stellaris's journey through here. All right, let's go back to the next big talking point, which is the announcement of the RimWorld Anomaly DLC. Let's just go straight to it. So this looks really, really interesting. So I can't wait for this one to come out. Now, there was a comment yesterday. I'm trying to think of where it was, either on my live stream or somewhere else, where somebody said that when they put out a release date of coming soon, it's 16 days after the announcement. So if you have a look at the announcement, it should be within about 2 weeks from now. So it should be about 2 weeks' time. There should be the Anomaly DLC coming. And so this is much more, this is now going to go into the horror realm, which is actually looking really interesting. So Chris is saying, I'm so done with Stellaris, I just can't take it anymore. Oh, the DLC woes. Yeah, they certainly overdid that, didn't they? Stellaris fanboys hate Distant Worlds, says Radigar. I don't know if it's that. I don't know what it is. I would love to know. It's sort of why, like when you guys do comment about games that you don't like that I happen to like I forget who it was. Somebody did mention before that they didn't like Galciv. I would love to know why, because I love that game. Similarly with Distant Worlds, like if somebody has a trouble with the game, I'd love to be able to understand the mindset as to what's causing that disconnect. Because quite often that sort of dissonance that people have with gaming comes from an expectation or from an expectation of how the gameplay would be approached. And so when you approach something like, then I find Distant Worlds is the easiest one to talk about this one with, but when you approach Distant Worlds from the mindset of Galciv, Stellaris, or from Interstellar Space Genesis, it's disappointing because you think that you need to be doing something right from the very, very start, whereas you don't. And so I can understand that dissonance happening when people who are looking for what they consider their space 4X and approaching it from that mindset. It's a strange one. So still saying I'm the weird one and I like Stellaris. I think Stellaris is a great game. It is the benchmark where, like, you know, the other Space 4Xs compared to Stellaris. Everyone, like, as soon as the Space 4X comes out, is what's it like in comparison to Stellaris? You know, it's unfair to sort of really compare everything, but I don't know, from my perspective, you know, like Gal Civ is definitely much more board game style than any of the other games. Interstellar Space Genesis is hit sort of that way a little bit. Interstellar Space Genesis has, in my opinion, better tactical combat than the other games. Distant Worlds is better with tactical combat than all of them, I believe. So again, that's probably why I like it so much. But anyway, RimWorld. Let's get back to RimWorld. Yeah, so Radigar saying I played 700 hours of Stellaris and won't really play it nowadays. Yeah, there we go. So Sizzle saying I compare every 4X space game with still with Master of Orion 2. It was an exceptional game, wasn't it? So Voodoo Dog saying I would love Stellaris if it weren't for the space lanes. And Jesse's also saying Stellaris is still my favourite Space 4X. I think when you get familiar, and actually Cosmic Servant saying I've played 1,200 hours in Stellaris, 600 plus on Distant Worlds. Yeah, so I think when somebody like yourself who has actually played so much time in both games, it's interesting to see, because they play so differently. And look, I prefer Distant Worlds over Stellaris by a long way, and I think it's just because I like the simulation aspect of Distant Worlds, and I'm used to playing it. So I think if you play a lot of one game and you enjoy it, and it just becomes like something where you don't have to learn the game every time you sit down to play it. I think that has a big role also in the overall enjoyment. So Connie's saying it served its purpose, but no DLC is going to add that much anymore at this point. Yeah, I think the combat is my biggest problem with Gal Civ. I really hoping Warlords can fix that. Yeah, well, maybe after this we'll go and have a look at what Warlords is promising to bring, because that, for me, actually is something that's going to... it sounds very interesting. Actually, I'll come back to that one. We'll go back to Gal Civ again and have a look at the Warlords, because there is information now on Steam about it. Anyway, this content requires a base game RimWorld in Steam. This is going to be RimWorld Anomaly. And so when we have a look at it, so darkness stirs in the Rim. Survivors survive flesh infestations, cultist attacks, shambling undead, blood rains, invisible hunters and other sanity shredding perils. Capture and study entities to harness the power of the void, conduct psychic rituals, and awaken an evil machine god. This sounds really, really interesting. RimWorld Anomaly is a horror-themed expansion inspired by classics like Cabin in the Woods, The Thing, the Cthulhu mythos, Hellraiser, and many more. That's cool. That's really cool. I love that... what's his name again? I forget his name. From Lydian Studios. I can't remember what the dev's name is. But I really love that he's so open with his inspirations. He always has been. Like he doesn't see competitors in the same way that a lot of other people do. So colonists accidentally awaken a dark monolith and provoke an insane machine mind of unfathomable power. It's so there are spoilers here, guys. Its terrifying manifestations begin to haunt the world. Survive these strange happenings as you study the new phenomena and learn how to end the madness. So it's not just about fighting monsters. It's paranoia, war, infestation, and mystery. Paranoia I don't like as mechanics in game. That sort of insanity type thing. It'd be interesting to see how that goes, because there already was, like, in my opinion, a fairly strong element about the base game anyway. Just that whole thing of somebody going a bit crazy. Psychically invisible hunter of human souls screeches outside your walls, returning every night to capture a new victim. The proximity alarm goes off, but you can't see the beast. Yes, there's a lot of stuff in through here. Just go back and read more. There's a lot of things that have been added into here. Looking forward to it, though. Horror combat. You'll fight battles against squealing flesh beasts, horde of shambling undead, spherical death machines, massive devouring water beasts. Yeah, this looks really, really cool. Capture and study dark entities in your facility. So there we go. So you do actually have to then start to study them. This is actually, did it mention, it's got the Thing and the Cabin in the Woods. There was a really old movie from the 1950s. Strange, was it Strange Planet? Let's have a look and see. Is that what Fantastic Planet, I think. Fantastic Planet. That's a 1973 film. It wasn't 73. 1950s, 1950 something. I'll just look it up and just see. That's not the one I'm thinking of. What was it? There was one there where there was like invisible creatures. So I'm thinking of a different movie. Thinking of a different movie entirely. Was it Strange Planet? Strange Planet. These are too early. I'll look up 1950s sci-fi movies. Forbidden Planet. That's the one. Forbidden Planet. There we are. Yeah, they had Leslie Nielsen. I didn't know that. He must have been young then. 1956. Look, this is the one where you've got like I think it was was it something outside, or am I thinking this one's different again? This is a robot, Robbie the robot. Wow, it actually had like Walter Pidgeon, Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, it's a pretty cool group. I don't know who Anne Francis was. I feel like watching that again now, actually. But I thought there was like a creature outside, an invisible creature. Maybe I'm getting my movies still confused, I guess, a little bit. But that's, anyway, that's we won't go down that rabbit hole. Cosmic Servant saying I just got done reading Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis. It's pretty good. Definitely inspired a lot of sci-fi that came after. Yeah, I haven't read that one, actually. I haven't read that one. That robot was used in more than one production. Didn't that end up being the robot for Lost in Space as well? The same robot? I'm not sure if it is. But yeah, I do remember that robot being around everywhere. But I thought there was like an invisible entity that was jealous of the girl in the movie. But I may be wrong about that one. There is an invisible creature. There we go. Yeah, I do remember that being some sort of, like it was a horror creature. So that's it was a cool movie, that one, actually. Very, very cool. So Michael's saying, I like RimWorld and Gal Civ more than Dwarf Fortress and Distant Worlds 2. Each their own taste. Michael, I'm going to have to ban you, sorry. I'm only joking. But actually, we'll talk about Dwarf Fortress as well. That was mentioned earlier as well. Because that's coming next month. So that is coming fairly soon. So, yes, like the power of the monolith to access the void. This is real Cthulhu stuff, isn't it? Real Lovecraftian sort of style as well. So this does look very, very interesting. Anyway, that's only been announced at this stage, so we will actually see where that one actually does head. Now this is medieval. That's a bundle. Anyway, that is coming. If we have a look at RimWorld itself, is that on special at the moment? Could you get this one? Yeah, 20% off. So it's not really worth talking about. But it's only 2 movies worth. You get a lot more than 2 movies worth of gameplay out of it. Overwhelmingly positive, 98%. Wow, isn't that just incredible? What an incredible game. This one really did set so many benchmarks for games. It was just incredible. What an incredible game. Yeah, anyway, let's go to Dwarf Fortress. And just the main reason I want to go to Dwarf Fortress now is because I want to just see if they're stepping back at all from the early April time slot. And if we go back to the community hub and adventure mode, it's 7th of March. That was the last one we saw, actually. But they are hang on. They did step it back a bit, I think. I thought it was April 6th was when they had first mentioned it. But they're now April 17th. Yep. Okay. So that's only going to be in beta as well. It's not going to be the release. So there's going to be still a lot of work to be done by the sounds of things. So I won't go through that until we're still a little way off from that one through there. Well, anyway, guys, I'm guessing what we might as well do is actually start to wind up. Actually, we'll have a quick look at the just see what other things that have come out this week. I'll just open up my actual Steam library. And so Chris is saying need to dash. Thanks, and chat. Catch you another time. So, oops, I was late for the Millennia stuff. I'll watch it later. Yeah, but summary is, I think it is a Civ killer. If you like the eras and ages of Civ, you're going to love it. If you are expecting something out of combat, you're going to hate it. So that's basically where it is. The combat is terrible in the game. Okay, we'll just go back into library and click on that one again. So Dominion 6 has just had another update. They're bringing those out all the time. Mortal Glory 2 has got an update. Rule of Waves 3, a minor update, just come out in through here as well. This one actually just changes, allows you to do more with your armoured cruisers and light cruisers in the pre-Dreadnought era. So you can sort of, you don't have as many restrictions. Millennia Combat Tutorial. What the hell? Hang on. What the hell? What the hell? Okay. Okay, maybe we're missing something. Let's have a look and see. We'll look at it on YouTube. Maybe we're missing something. So this is from Jumbo Pixel, who would have been sponsored.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Millennia. We're in collaboration with Paradox Interactive. Today we're talking units, armies, war and battles. The focus is combat. So let's jump straight into the fight, starting with units. Obviously forming the key part of our armies, trained inside of our regions and unlocked as we progress through the game. The different types are key here. Take a look at this line unit, powerful against cavalry and later armored units. Or its counter, a ranged unit like the modern machine gun, with modifiers so strong they can turn the tide of a fight. Likewise, these anti-defensive units like the artillery will absolutely blow away the enemy with their powerful modifiers.
I'm still not convinced. This is still really, really low quality stuff, I think.
Slightly later in the video. It's important to also note that fighting doesn't just happen at land, sea, and of course the air will also play a key role in most combat in Millennia, especially as you move through the ages and dominate these guys. Be aware, of course, you will need the technology to keep up, as well as any vital buildings inside of a city, and any tile improvements.
See, that's the bit that people are going to find interesting. It's the buildings.
Here, you'll run up against them, and they'll certainly prove a challenge, or they could be used defensively.
That mechanic hasn't changed at all through the eras.
But let's get offensive. It's time to wage war. Let's talk about how we now use our units across the world. Firstly, you could look to take down some fairly easy prey early on, capturing quick, vassalized cities. But if you want to move to other opponents, then you'll need to navigate to the Diplomacy tab, where you can first declare hostilities, allowing you to fight them in open, unclaimed territory. Next, you can step it up. Declare war. It's time to fight. Here, you'll now be able to march into their lands and indeed take their cities down. The domain powers are particularly useful here, by the way. Reinforcements to heal your armies in neutral territory, or forced march to literally send them in again in the same turn and give it another go. The domain powers are of course supported by the national spirits too. So
National spirit is awesomely good. That is awesomely, this is the thing. There are so many different of them, and they really do change the game.
Take note though, as you wage war, chaos will follow, and this can lead to chaotic events that you might want to suppress, and unrest, civil unrest.
That's really good as well, actually, management of the cities.
Focuses on fighting the enemy and not turning on you. And now let's all turn to the battles, the final part of this video. The key thing to remember are those numbers we talked about earlier. Particularly here, we'll look at health and morale. Take this fight as an example.
He's hyping it up. He's trying hard, he's ringing it out.
It strikes it down, instantly taking out its morale, leaving it with just a little bit of health remaining. That means the unit is routed.
Oh, must be hard. Must be hard.
Not completely destroyed. Largely thanks to this combat modifier, ranged beats line.
I really like Jumbo Pixel's stuff, by the way, but it just, like he's, I don't know.
These different multipliers that have a drastic impact on taking down enemy units and hopefully completely destroying them. The terrain where you're fighting can also...
That's the terrain is okay in the combat. Like you can see it up in the top corner. You've got some little bonuses.
How much experience they have, but also who they're led by.
At the top there,
Normal
like with
units
the leaders.
can be promoted into leaders, and leaders have a tactics stat that buffs their entire army. In this case, my specific mercenaries leader inside of that national spirit also has a special ability, Security Detail, allowing me to spawn mercenary units on the go with relatively low morale but high power. These expensive units may not want to hang around too long in a fight. And finally, don't forget to use the Battle Viewer's controls to perhaps expand on the information you're receiving, pause, replay, or watch sections again. And that concludes this video, the final Millennia tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for all of the tutorials, as well as I'm sure plenty more good stuff to come. And thank you for joining me in this series.
So there we are. But yeah, that's that would have been hard, to be honest, because the combat is shit. It's not even like that would have been a difficult task to have done that one, to be honest. We'll just go back to Steam again. It really isn't good. It's just funny to sort of see it there. But that's he's hyping it up as much as he possibly can, but it's not really. It's not there. The combat is terrible. Yeah, I don't think you missed anything. Yeah, no, it's Cosmic Servant saying. I think if you're into tactical battles, and I am, then yeah, you're going to be disappointed in the game. If you don't care about the tactical battles, if you're someone who auto battles through Age of Wonders or something like that, you're probably going to enjoy it. Like I think the rest of the game has got so many good things in it. But that combat is abysmal if you like strategic or tactical combat. Dragon Reborn in Quasimorph. I was streaming this one yesterday. Actually, this is getting better and better. This particular game, Quasimorph. The actual missions are now really becoming quite themed, which is great. Got the new patch which we had a look at before. Distant Worlds 2. Now there's a new update coming in April, which is essentially you can get access to it right now if you just go into the open beta. So I won't talk about that one. So it says another free update. The game faction update is scheduled. Now it's still only humans and mortals, which if you play the open beta, you've already got them. So get the open beta. So that's for April the 9th. But that is going to be the next official release. And I know that most people actually don't go with the open betas, but if you watch this channel, I've probably twisted your arm enough that you actually are in the open beta if you do play Distant Worlds 2. Now this is again really cool. We've got the 2.4 update with the Populi update, and so this is actually the citizens in Alien GPT. So there's been another dev journal in through there. This is we'll be talking about this a lot. Actually, what we're going to have a look at with Gal Civ. There was something I was going to talk about, but I forget what it was. There was another aspect of it, but I can't think of what it is. Anyway, that's this is a big direction change now for the game, and it's going to keep on getting better and again over time. So the Populi update does give you random citizens now if you do generate the actual citizens, which is great. So Cosmic Savant is saying Quasimorph and Jupiter Hell are both S-tier games. I was playing Jupiter Hell, there we go. I was playing that this week, just when I had a little bit of time, and I don't like it anywhere near as much as Quasimorph. Quasimorph for me is exceptional. Jupiter Hell is interesting, but I don't love it. Not the same as Quasimorph. Quasimorph now is so finessed with the actual missions and things. It's you've got a lot of choice as to how you sort of approach the game, which I really like. Now we also then have, this is 1 week ago, Panzer Corps 2 Frontlines Bulge is coming. Panzer Corps, this will be actually pretty cool. This changes the whole scale of Panzer Corps and brings it down into a smaller scale battles, which I think will be really quite good for the game, to be honest. So I'm looking for that one through there. We already did the Wolf update, so this is Wolf 1.2 update. And so they, what actually happens in through here is that they've now wound back the fact that you can now combine your leaders together again in single stacks and not sort of suffer too much from that one. So that's all pretty good. Machine Age and Stellaris. Oh, another DLC, really? And this one here, it's Spring Update, mod support, new merch, and Japanese physical for the their Wargroove 2. Now, I would love to see a game like Millennia with Wargroove style combat based on the combination of troops. I just think that would be another clean and simple way of doing it, like a very simple way of actually doing combat. But I don't know. They've got to find a better way with Millennia, with the way that combat works right now. I'm trying to think of a worse game for combat where they still actually animate it, and I actually can't think of it. I can't think of a game that does it worse. It's the only aspect about it that's bad, but it really is terribly bad. So we've got June Spice Wars. Now this one I did actually approach back to the June Spice Wars company, but to see if I can get my hands on this one, but I haven't been able to get my hands on that one. Would have liked to have seen this one. This one is sort of more subterfuge, the way that they sort of this one then is added to the actual the June Spice Wars game. Headquarters World War II is arriving on April the 11th. God, there's going to be a lot of stuff around that week. You got Headquarters, which is awesome. You've got Dwarf Fortress. There's a few others as well coming in April as well, from what I remember. There's the announcement about the Populi update. Panzer Corps, the announcement about that one as well. Stellaris, another patch, and DF Hack again. Actually, this was yesterday. We're running a poll for which DF Hack features you'd like to see next. I think they should wait until the actual adventure mode releases, because adventure mode is going to possibly give us maps that we can then export from the game, and that will then add there'll be a lot more need for DF Hack aspects at that point than what there is currently. So yeah, so I think it's like a month too early for them to do this one, but I guess they do so much work over the course of the month anyway. So Original Intent saying, I love GalCiv's research system and their random discount text. Yes, that works very, very well, and they've improved that a lot. Actually, GalCiv has also now really been focusing a lot with this new update on tooltips. Yeah, I forget if we're going to look at something. I forget what it was. Renegade saying GalCiv is weak in combat in the events, in my opinion. They seem very limited. I agree with that. I think also the events shouldn't include factions that aren't in the actual maps that you're playing. Like, they should actually stop those events. And the combat is weak. Actually, we're going to look at the combat, but what was the aspect of the combat we're going to look at? What was the aspect? Because they have improved it a lot. They're giving it a lot more nuance. That's right. We're going to look at the. We're going to look back in here, not at the actual game itself, but at the coming DLC, at the Warlords DLC. If I just go to GalCiv. Oh, that's the original. Gal Space Civ. There we go. Yeah, so this I think is worth keeping an eye open. Warlords, and it is coming in April. So again, I don't know the exact date that it's coming. But what this one does is it does add a lot. So the Warlords expansion revolutionises combat in GalCiv 4, offering players the ability to craft their own military doctrines. These doctrines dictate ship behaviour in combat, enabling you to design new ship classes and establish a strategic order of battle, enhancing control over engagements without micromanaging each fight. This is the important aspect of the game. The design direction of GalCiv is to be an auto-battler. And so what they've been looking at in probably the last 3 to 6 months in a fairly meaningful way is how do they make the auto-battler work better. And so I used to think it would be better if they introduced something like what Interstellar Space Genesis has got, which is like a simple tactical battle system. But the micromanagement, when you start playing big games, would be way, way, way too much. So that's actually something that you probably, and I'm now on board with that, thinking, yeah, okay, I can understand why it's an auto-battler. You look at some of the auto-battlers that are around, like what is it, Mechabellum? Mechabellum is probably one of the best I've seen in recent times. It's probably too engaging for something like for GalCiv, but they're trying to now start to get something where you can script things before you get started. Now, they have relied on the ship classes to dictate how ships approach combat. So if they enhance this through military doctrines and through having your own personalized ship classes, that could ultimately be quite interesting. And I'm trying to think of an example. Like one example I'm thinking of is that you may build, for example, a different type of bomber that goes after siege ships, as an example. That's how I would imagine that working. And so instead of it trying to get rid of all of the combat ships and then destroy the non-combatants at the end of it, I'm wondering if that would be something you would then be able to do, to build like a group of bombers where their only role is to go after the non-combatant ships and get destroyed in the process. So you end up with like a kamikaze type attack. So there's certainly a lot of different sorts of things that could be done with that one, but it'll still be an auto battle system. It won't revolutionize the way that is actually done, and for the reasons I said before, because of the scale, it would be too much. Warlords introduces war aims. This is actually sort of outside of the combat. So this is the combat aspect. This is the actual war aims. A feature allowing you to define specific victory conditions and engage in wars with limited objectives, whether it's demolishing star bases or capturing planets. The war planning interface lets you set precise conquest goals. Your war's popularity and support hinges on its justification, adding a layer of strategic public opinion to your military campaigns. I like the idea of this as well, like having limited wars. Additionally, Warlords significantly upgrades the combat system, allowing you a more intricate ship designs and detailed after-action reports. That will be good. Like that's another good thing about it. This paves the way for an intense arms race where every decision and design can tip the balance of power. And so, again, I'm thinking it's going to be a rock, paper, scissors type thing, but done in a different way than what they've done it in the past. So prepare for a deeper, more strategic warfare experience in the Galactic Civilizations universe. The thing I like about Stardock is that, like from an outsider, you sort of see things big picture fairly easily because you're not in the middle of it. And what Stardock do is they do tend to get caught in the inside of something. But then what they do very, very well, and I think this is going to be, I'm sort of hoping, I don't want to say it will, but I'm hoping that it will be the case. They then manage to sort of come out and take all the input that people have given them to look at it. And instead of coming up with the solutions that other people have come up with, they find a much, much better solution to fix the problem. And so they've done that a lot with the innovations they've put into the game. And the game has had so many innovations in the last 12 months. It's really, really quite exceptional. So for me, I'm really looking for, this is probably the most interesting update or DLC that I'm expecting for the actual game itself. So that's coming sometime in April. And again, I can't believe that they build everything so fast, because the changes that they bring are meaningful changes with everything in the actual game itself. So yeah, very, very cool the way it sort of does work. So anyway, that's coming very, very soon. So that's another one to enjoy in April. So yeah, that should, I think, hopefully, if people are sort of disappointed in the actual combat system, that there is now a lot of preparation, but it all comes down to your ship classes and ship designs as to how things actually do work. So where are we? Okay, so Bibica's saying I misunderstood Warlords, so Radigar must have mentioned something about that one. Yeah, okay, you're thinking it was the old Warlords game. Again, people think so fondly of the old Warlords games, from back in the day. I don't know, like I enjoyed the idea of them, but I never really enjoyed playing them all that much. So Unicorn Overlords, saying Unicorn Overlord and FFX, what is it? Final Fantasy, is it? Final Fantasy 12. Get around auto battle by adding decisions you make before combat that are quite detailed. Yes, that's something that I think, that's where I'm hoping the doctrines will actually play a bit more of a role. You can change them from engagement to engagement or keep them the same. Yeah, it's sort of like a simplified Dominions type system, I think. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's actually get this giveaway done. So, guys, I'm going to get you to, I'll just go and open up Nightbot, and we'll log in. And we log in automatically. Now I need something simple. I think I'm just going to make it win. If you just, I'll just let me get there first. But if I just go into keyword, I'll just make the keyword is win. So just type in the word win, and then you'll be in the running for Solemn Infernum, and then we'll get the marble run sort of done. And so that's going to be, yeah, you want to be part of this if you, this is an exceptional game. So I'll give you a bit of time to do that. In the meantime, I'll just have a drink. Okay, we're getting a few people starting to come in. There's about a 20-second delay, I think, between when I start talking and when other things actually happen. So I'll let that happen for a little bit. I'll just go and get everything else set up. We can close that one off now. And yes, this is a worthy prize. Just get marbles started. Yeah, suddenly everyone is talking, said Richard. Yes. Everyone wants to win. So there we go. Just let it come in for a little bit of time. So we're playing with their own Grand Prix system in marbles. So we've got a different scoring system. If you survive the game, you're going to get a point at least. If you come in 10th, you get 10 points. I think if you come in first, it's 20 points, and then it goes down fairly quickly. And then, but if you do come in 10th, there's a chance you're going to get a lot of points as well. So that's sort of how it all goes. Season 50 has arrived. Yep, that's been there for a few weeks now. So I have to start off in race just to put the names in. I don't think we can go straight to Grand Prix. Yeah, it's funny, Grand Prix doesn't have, we can add in the bots. So that's what we have to do, unfortunately. It works very well in Twitch, but not in YouTube. Just go back to play, just go back to race, and then we have the way of actually adding them in. Okay, guys, that's probably enough time. So let's go and change these. We'll just go and add the names, clear these at this stage, and go back to Nightbot and grab the names. Control C. Now, it was a couple of weeks ago, somebody didn't pick up their game, and I don't know who it was, but they didn't contact me. You've got to contact me through the. Actually, did Bubo? Have you just come in as well? I'll just make sure that there's nothing else new. So Bubo is the last. Bubo is the last one in. We'll just go Control C here. Actually, Cat's not there as well. You're in, Cat. I'm just going to put you in because anyone will want this one here. So if you're in now, that's fine. Okay, so that's fine. And Grob. Okay, you're not in as well, are you, or you're not? Put Grob in manually. Grob 503. Okay, that's okay. So we've got 28 players. Let's just go and find. We'll just go replace. Oh, hang on. Cancel. Remember, no, it won't. And we're replacing with just an enter. There we go. Rob, we just have to do that one. All right, so good luck, everyone. I'll just save that one. No one else on Chond? Are you in there? No, you're not. Chond 813. There we are. So there we go. So that's it. 29 players. All right, we'll close it off now and close that one down. I wish it was as simple as doing it on Twitch. We'll do a test of it on Twitch. That's 29, so we'll just go finish. And so they've all been added. Go back up to play, Grand Prix, bots, 29. So Cosmic Savant, are you saying that you didn't get in? No, you're not. Okay, we'll make it 30. last one. Oh, Sorbicol as well. Okay, last two. So Cosmic Savant. And so 31 ultimately. So Sorbicol. Make sure there wasn't anything there back there. Yeah, it's okay. Yep. So that's good. So they're both in. Finished. So it's 31. All right. So we'll just go back to play. Grand Prix 4 bots 31. Okay. Well, I will just play a quick Grand Prix with four maps, and I think that's all we need to do. So good luck, guys. Here we are. So first map. Oh, this is interesting. So this is Fear of Heights. Okay, I think this was going to be something a bit crazy with this one. Let's just get started here. So it's going to go up and back out. Here we go. Who's the first one through? Actually, nearly everyone is. So Rick is out in front. Cosmic Savant is coming through. We've got Dave. Serenity has just gone into the second place, but Rick's miles out in front. Let's just go back to Serenity. Now, is anyone going to fall off? There's a high likelihood. Yep, Matthew's out. Oh, there goes Voxter, Mad Hat, Raven Desk, Blue Wolverine, Ulrich is gone. So, yeah, a lot of the others have made it in at this stage. Here comes Sithel, Bubicus, and JP Foster way at the back. Let's have a look and see what's happening through here. So the others have now hit the final loop before they go through. Who's going to be the first one out? Cosmic Savant, still out in front. Lost any others? No, we've still got everyone else in there. So 20 points, I think, will be the amount through here. I think it's 20 that we end up getting. The original intent may be able to come straight through. Has taken the lead from Cosmic Savant, but this is actually where we're going to lose people as well, because if you get past there, you're okay. And so the leaders have. Cosmic Savant is back out in front again. Original intent coming back through. So Cosmic Savant is the first. Radigar just missed. Radigar got pushed out from one of the other ones. So almost hit the final in through there. So top three are in here. Here comes. Oh, there's more going. There goes to Shows has gone. Voodoo Dog. So anyone who doesn't finish is basically getting 0 points. Some of the others, if you're finishing sort of towards the back end, 10th. There goes Jesse's gone as well. Stephen got the extra 10 points, so you get a bonus for coming in 10th. Yep, the Sithel and Sticky Wicket, they've all gone as well. There we go. This goes Astrius T. There is a chance you can end up in there. Oh, nearly got there. Nearly got there. Still got a few of the other slowpokes at the back here. Just waiting for them to finish off. They're caught in the loop. Here we go. That's going to finish them off before they get there. So Grob and JP. Now, JP, where are you? You're gone. And actually, there we go. So that's now the end of it. So final results are in. So we'll just go and have a look. So we've got Cosmic Savant is at the front. If we go back into our Grand Prix, yeah, 20 points for first, 15 for second, 12 for third, 10 for 10th, and 4th. So if you come 4th or 10th, you do get 10 points. 5th is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then if you don't finish, you don't get any points at all. So next map, here we go. So this one is going to be the bracket. So yeah, catapult to the stars. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll just get started. This is a laps one. I'll just come in and do, these are all on the first lap. Some of you unfortunately start at the back end. I'll just go back to say 3rd place. I'll just follow them in through. I don't think anyone will fall off this one. So Serenity is coming back through. We're following Serenity at the moment. Come out into the lead. Let's just see everyone else. So everyone's pretty bunched up. Bit of a spread as we come around this next corner. So still out in the lead. So Ulrich is coming second. Goes to Shows is coming back in the third. You sort of go back into a few of the other ones. We've got Rick, Sorbicol, Bubicus, Blue Wolverine, Voodoo Dog and CB. So Serenity is still a long way out in front. Well, not a long way, but he's not it's not budging at all. No one can get around him. Here we go. This will now, Radagar is probably going to come into the front. And no, Ghost of Shows has hit the lead. Ulrich is coming, so it goes Ghost of Shows, Radagar still there. Sorbikol's making another comeback again. Ulrich coming back through Bubicus. So we've still got Ghost of Show has sort of got a good lead into here. It's 3 rounds. So we've just gone past the finish line. Ghost of Show has got a good run into this corner actually. That'll possibly even boost it out a little bit. I think Sorbikol's going to struggle there. Yeah, Ghost of Show has now got a good lead, but this is a bad angle for him. So we just go back in. So we've got Voodoo Dog now has come up, Ulrich, Serenity, Radagar, Sorbicol, for what's actually happening through here. So good line for Ghost of Show. Some of the others are being sort of slowed down a little bit back up through that other side. So Voodoo Dog coming in second at this stage. Ghost of Show still out in the lead. Final lap coming up fairly soon. No real change in the leaders. And good line through into the final. Oh, that's not a good line. That's not a good line. Who's going to take the lead in here? Voodoo Dog is sort of bouncing ahead, but still Ghost of Show is still out in front there through this other side. He's been polishing his balls very, very well with this particular run. It's a bit faster than the others. It's all about the line. It's all about the line. This is a good line coming into the final one. But you don't want to be going too far to the right. I think that Ulrich is actually in a good position here coming into this one and into its other side. Let's have a look and see what actually happens with Ulrich. Will he take the lead? Yes, he has. So he had the best line going into that particular one. He's a long way out in front, actually. That was by far the best line going into that particular corner. This one is a good line as well. It's coming in early. So this is a long, long way out in front. And we've got Ghost of Show is still coming in second. Voodoo Dog, actually, yeah, Voodoo Dog's now skipped back down to fourth. Mad Hat Raven Desk coming in third now. Radagar fifth. Dave Fluke getting the bonus points there in 10th at the moment. So Ulrich is a long way out. Now, it's only if he goes this way, which he has, that will give the chance for the others to catch up. But I think he's too far out ahead. Let's just go back into the loop in through here a bit and see what actually happens into this other side. Again, a really good corner for Ulrich. He just needs a good corner here, and then he's got it won. So we've got it won easily. Mad Hat Day, Raven Desk, Ghost of Show making a late run to try to get second, but he doesn't. He only gets third. There we go. So the winner is Ulrich. Congratulations! What a great that first turn after in the final lap was what won it for you. So that was by far the best line that was actually taken by the marbles. All right, so there we go. If we have a look at the actual results, we go back to Grand Prix. So we now have Cosmic got 1 more point, so he's at 21. We then actually have Ulrich, who was a 0, has now got 20 points. So they're only 1 point splitting them. 18 points for Voodoo Dog. John 17, 16 for Original Intent, 15 for Mad Hat Raven Desk, who also had 0 in the first run. 13 for CB, and then down to 12s, 11s, 10s, etc., etc. So there's our leaderboard at this stage. Still got 2 more races to go. We'll go to the next map. This is the brick. Okay, so this will be interesting to see how we go. So polish those balls, guys. Here we go. It's another lap race. I don't mind these. I never used to really like the lap races before, but it's not terrible. Got Sithel out in front this time. Voodoo Dog again coming through. Astrius, Elrasok. There comes Dave. There's Ulrich back into this other side. Sithel's got a good line in through here. This looks like almost the same race, doesn't it? Anyway, it is what it is. I do prefer the ones where we end up with people falling off the map. It's a good line in through here with everyone. So Thistle's a little bit out in front of everyone. Here comes the first lap. So it's going to be a short game. Oh, there's not a good line. This Astrius is now currently much better line coming into this corner. The angle is much better. So I'm thinking Astrius will possibly take the lead. Oh, he's bouncing into Sithel though. Sithel actually blocked him, but he has taken the lead. Sithel has actually now got a little bit of a boost along from that bump, but is it's still just holding second. So Astrius is certainly doing okay there. Let's have a look and see what's happening with the others. So everyone's got a good line into this one. It really is that one where you come in with a different angle. You want to be coming in tight. No, you want to be coming in sort of right up against the edge as much as you can. Okay, last lap. Now, who's got the best line? It looks like Astrius again has got the best line in through here. So I don't think he can be caught at this point. He's going to be a little bit further out ahead of the others. And so it would take a disaster here for Astrius to lose it. So he's miles out in front. Miles out in front. Now, this is actually probably the last chance where if he look at the line he's got. Those balls have been well polished. All right, let's have a look at the finish in through here. So this is the final lap, final corner, I think. Here we go. Astrius easily done. Sithil, Voodoo Dog, then Radagar, Dave Flute. So we're not going to see any real changes. Bit of a boring map, that one, but anyway, we've got a new winner. So Astrius has taken that one in 2 minutes. 2 minutes 9 seconds, 0.167. We'll view the results, but it all came down to the to that line going into that corner after the start, which is quite interesting. So anyway, Astrius, we'll go and have a look at the Grand Prix settings now. So Voodoo Dog back out in front here by a fair way, actually, by another 8 points, 8 points ahead of next place, so 30 points, which is a lot. So then Casey's here with 22 points, so 8 points difference. 22 points there again for Cosmic Savant as well, and Astrius is also 21 points. So this is still very, very doable with all of these guys. Actually, there's 21 points there. So what have we got? We've got 3 on 21, and we've got another 19, 18, and then 18 down through here for Radagar. So it's still certainly anybody's game. So Voodoo Dog does have a big 8-point advantage, though, now, coming into the last race. So let's go and see what actually happens here. Twists and turns. Hopefully it's a one where we do have people dropping. Yeah, here we go. This will be interesting. So good luck, guys, for the final run. Where's Voodoo Dog? Did he start out in front? He probably did. He's going to be the first one through the loop. It's not going to matter that much. Just want to be the first one down this one through here. It looks like Voxter, maybe the first one down the area. Yep. So it's Voxter was the first one, and Sorbicol as well. I forget who was actually in the had a possibility of going after Voodoo Dog, because Voodoo Dog's not even in the top 10 at this stage, which is going to be a problem for Voodoo Dog. So look and see. Where is Voodoo Dog? Oh, there we go. Actually, Voodoo Dog is coming through. Yeah, Voxter is still out in front. Nobody's fallen off yet. Just wait for them to come through. So it'd be interesting to see who's the first one through here. Mad Hat Ravendesk has now got the lead. Now that I think Mad Hat Ravendesk was in a chance. There's Voxter, there's Grob, but I forget who else was in the running for the actual victory. Mad Hat way out in front of the others now at this point in time. Sithil on the other track, but Mad Hat straight through, a long way out in front now. I don't think that Mad Hat can be stopped. I'm pretty sure he's now going to win. Sithil will come second potentially. Oh, maybe not. There's going to be a bit of an interesting sort of finish in here. So Mad Hat is the winner. So congratulations. That may be enough to win. We'll soon see. We'll soon see. And we've got these in through here, Radagar, Ulrich. Now, if there is a draw, it'll come down to whoever got the most victories. If that's not the case, then we'll have to have a runoff, but like a one-off race between the two of them, and see who comes in above the others. So I'll just have a look and see what the final results actually are, because I've got a funny feeling it's going to be really, really tight now. Final results were, so where did Voodoo Dogs finish? Way back in 25th. Yeah, I think you still get a point for that one. So anyway, Grand Prix, the final results are Mad Hat Ravendesk. Okay, there we go. So Mad Hat Ravendesk has got 36 points. Voodoo Dog only got his extra 1 point. So unfortunately, Voodoo Dog misses out. Even got 31 points in through here with Sithil as well. And then 28s, 25s Yeah, so this is interesting. So we do have a clear winner, so that's pretty cool. Let's go back to the let's finish the Grand Prix off. So we do have a winner. So man, help me this thing. I'll need help from others to win the Grand Prix. There we go. So Dog got ripped off in the end there. So Scythel coming in third on equal points with Voodoo Dog, and then the winner that we have is Mad Hat Raven Death. So well done. A good comeback from behind victory. So that was actually pretty cool. I forget where you were previous to that one, but that was very, very well done. There's the final results, 36 points, 2 on 31, 28s. I'll just go down through the list so you guys can see where you actually did end up finishing. It's always good to see who finishes at the bottom. So Grob was the bottom one, along with JP Foster and Sticky Wicket. They were all on 3. Bubicus, Matthew, and Blue Wolverine, and Urusok were on 4. So then we ended up with the winner on 36 points. So Mad Hat Raven Desk, what I'm going to get you to do is to just type in ChatTactic.com. If you can actually email me, please, to that email address, I will then get the Solemn Infernum key out to you. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for participating. That was good fun. Actually, that was good timing. We're right on 2 hours, so that's perfect timing to finish this. As I say, a lot of games coming out this week, a lot of exciting things on the way, certainly in the next month or so as well with strategy gaming. I'll catch you